I don't know if any of you remember in the 50s that there were kidnappings of kids and then ransom. I think the Charles Lindbergh case, I don't know the date on that. Somebody check it on your phone there. That's what it was all about. So, big thing in the 50s was teaching your kids about the dangerous stranger and being kidnapped. And I got a heavy dose of hearing about the dangerous stranger before I went to kindergarten, so I wouldn't get kidnapped on the way to school and all that. But actually, when I thought I was being kidnapped was when my mom, my little sister, and I were at the grocery store. And we'd walked all over getting the groceries and filling up the cart. And Sister Katie was about 2. She was up in the little seat thingy. And I was about 6 and walking along beside my mom and all. And then we got to the checkout stand, and Katie was still up in the seat. And my mom goes, "Oh, I've got one more thing I have to get." And she went running off to get it while the checker kept checking through the bananas and the eggs and the bread and stuff. And then they finished checking everything through and put the bags in the cart. Katie was still up in the seat, and they started to push it out, ready to go out the door. And they pushed it out, our cart out with the people in front. And my mom hadn't even come back. And I thought, uh-oh, I think I'm being kidnapped right now, because we were with the wrong people and maybe they were kidnappers or something, or not quite sure how I was thinking at 6. But here was Katie up in the seat, and I was walking next to the cart with these lady and a man who I didn't know, and the grocery guy that was pushing the cart, I couldn't even tell him these people were not my people. I was kind of tugging on him, and the words would not come out my mouth. It was terrifying. So finally we get all the way to the other people's car, and the grocery guy goes to put in the grocery bags in their car, and the couple turns around and looks at my 2-year-old sister and I, and they go, "Hey, these aren't our kids." And I just sigh this big sigh of relief, like, phew, we're not being kidnapped. Great. So after that whole escapade, my mom tried to teach me to make noise. She tried. I mean, we had lessons in this. So the other time when I totally didn't make noise or didn't move or any of that, again, this is in 1st grade, again trying to be so obedient and well-behaved, goody two-shoes style, was the first day of school. The teacher told us we were going to go to an assembly in the auditorium, and we were going to walk 2 by 2 down the hall and be quiet. And when we get to the auditorium, to the assembly, don't move in your seat. Don't wiggle, don't squiggle, don't giggle, don't make any noise. Just listen to what they're saying up on the stage. I said, okay, I'll see if I can do that. No wiggle, no squiggle, no nothing. So we get there, and I sat on my hard little seat, and my legs did not reach over the edge, but I did not squiggle or wiggle or giggle. And I came home that day after that assembly, and I had huge welts on my legs. My mom looks at me and she says, "What happened to you? Did somebody beat you at school, or what is going on with your legs? You have these huge welts." And I go, "Yes, the teacher said don't wiggle, don't squiggle." And so I didn't. My mom rolls her eyes and she goes, God, I'm trying to undo all this obedience thing with you. So she gets down sort of on her hands and knees, or on her knees, so she's eye to eye with me. And she says, would you put your head in an oven if somebody told you to? I say, no. She goes through this whole list of, would you be so obedient as to put yourself in danger, kind of foolish style? And I say, I really was kind of like, I'm not sure. So it was a lifetime of trying to figure out who to listen to, who to follow, when and how to be obedient. Still is kind of a life lesson. But I will say that when I was about 20 and living in a whole house of friends, my roommate, Leslie, my very, very dear friend, we were sharing the same room, and in the middle of the night, I screamed. It was the first time I really screamed like that. It was probably blood-curdling. I did not wake up the whole house. But I'm actually really proud I finally got a scream out, because in my dream, there was a bad guy in the bathroom waiting for when I came to go to the bathroom, then something bad was going to happen. I don't know what. And so just to be sure, Leslie, who had woken up, recommended we take the climbing ice axe with us and we go together to the bathroom to see if there was a bad guy. But the good news is no bad guy in the bathroom. And also the good news is I finally learned how to scream.